Welcome to this week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment. Locate, learn, set up, hunt. Brought to you by Muddy Outdoors.
Well, it's September and we're out scouting today, a brand new field for us. And a lot of times when we're looking at a new field, the biggest question is, where do you start? And without even looking at the deer stand, I can give you a good hint on where we're going to start anyway, and that's right there on that inside corner. And what we mean by an inside corner, it's usually the corner that's the furthest away or tucked away from the road or the access point to that field. And traditionally, that's where those bucks are going to love to move. So we'll go over there and we'll take a look. I know there's going to be a trail from wherever those deer are bedding out that inside corner. There's going to be multiple other trails along the edge of the bush, but I'm going to start on that inside corner because I feel more times than not, that's where that mature buck is going to be hitting that field from. Here you can see the heavy trail from their bedding area leading to the inside corner of this pea field. There's no rules when it comes to hunting a mature deer, but there's some guidelines that'll help you fast track your scouting. And that's what we found historically, that you've got a lot of field edge here for those deer to utilize. But 9 times out of 10, those older bucks are going to be coming out of that inside corner. We don't have a problem with mature deer coming out into the field and feeding with the rest of the deer. They don't mind being visible, but they'll almost always approach that field out of that inside corner if it's available. Like I mentioned, it's September and we're pretty busy hunting, so we might not have time to sit and watch this field to physically see where the deer are coming out and how they're acting out here. So I know by putting a stealth cam in that inside corner, I'm going to get pictures of most of those bucks as quickly as possible. So those little channels, those little bowls that the corners often have, those little open areas between the field edge and the bush, those are the inside edges that those bucks love. But like I mentioned, there's no rules, and that big buck might come out of the middle of the flattest part of the field every time. But most often it's going to be that inside corner. And after all, we're just trying to reduce the amount of time that we have to spend scouting and increase the time that we're hunting that target buck. And that's your Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment for the week.
This week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment has been brought to you by Muddy Outdoors. Share your own muddy moment.